Hello, lovely ones. How are we doing? So this video today is all about ayahuasca, all about the plant medicine in general, but ayahuasca specifically. And I wanted to share everything that I have wisdom on with this in the subject department, because I have worked with ayahuasca quite extensively, and there's many people that are called to work with the medicine but are a little bit fearful. Many people that have worked with the medicine and ended up just floating around in the ethers and just being completely confused by the experience. And this is kind of what I wanted to share, because I think this is missing. Not many people talk about the clarity when it comes to ayahuasca and what the bigger picture is all about. And in fact, I've actually been requested to do this video. So Deshandra, thank you for requesting this video. I feel like I'm on a radio show. Thank you for requesting. Here's your request. And just on that, I think this is a really fun, cool way of us interacting, because I get on here all the time, as you know, and I just bang out a subject matter and, you know, just what's coming to me. But how about it's coming from you? Because I am such a medium, a channel, and a teacher, and I just love all of this stuff. So I'm opening up the pathways now. So if there's anything that any one of you wants to have a video on, or you want guidance on, put it in the comments below, and I will most certainly do a video on it, because this is my favorite way of vibrating. They say, tell me about this, and then I'll bring a video through, and it can open up so many portals, more so than me just deciding on that day what to talk about. If it's coming from you, then there's a chances are there's 100 other people that are also wanting to know about it as well. So I encourage you, put your ideas in the comments, and I'll bring through my divine wisdom, and we'll share with the group. So now, going on to ayahuasca. So I started working with ayahuasca. I've been wanting to work with plant medicine for a long time. And 2018 was when I first had my first experience with ayahuasca. I had just come back from my first trip of Egypt, actually. And it was crazy, the timing. She found me, definitely. That's how you must roll with plant medicine. Don't force it. The plants, they will call you, and then when you react to that calling and you turn up, then it's fluid. But when you force it, sometimes it doesn't work so well. So 2018, just got back from my first Egypt trip, and then it just so happened that there was a 5-day ayahuasca ceremony in Zimbabwe. So I came off the plane, went straight to it. So it was a double whammy. So look at that synchronicity now that lined up. Egypt first time, straight into plant medicine, ayahuasca first time. So it was incredible and it was amazing. And I was very bewildered and very confused, because I went in with so much expectation. And I'd been waiting for about 1.5 years prior to that for the calling of medicine. And this is how it showed up. Now, after that, I proceeded to work with ayahuasca a lot with the same people that held space. So that was really comfortable, because that's really important as well. Know who you are going to, who's holding your space, who, because their medicine is also the medicine that comes through the plants. So for example, when you are working with mushrooms, when you're working with ayahuasca, whatever it may be, be mindful of the person, or be aware of the person that is holding that medicine. Their frequency needs to be pretty high, because it comes through in that medicine, especially if they're making it themselves, if they're making the ayahuasca themselves, that matters a lot, and you want high frequency everything. So yeah, sort of do a bit of research on who you're going to enter into the circle with. Also as well, who are the kinds of people that are going to that medicine ceremony, because that frequency is also going to be, it's going to be a collective experience, even though when you work with the medicine, you're lying on your mat and you're doing your own thing. So, look at the people that kind of go there as well. And then when you start to do your homework and you kind of like pitch up to the plan, the spirit will take the rest, and it will just guide you beautifully to that space. And then as soon as you have that meeting, you must always have a conversation with the person that you're going in to do medicine with, because think about it. You're going to go and open up your frequency in the most vulnerable way. You need to know that that person can hold the space for you, can hold the space for others. Also as well, ask the question, am I called to do a one-on-one ayahuasca or plant medicine ceremony? Is that better for me? Would I feel more comfortable? Because that can be done as well. That's a thing. But sometimes going into a group collective, it is rather beautiful when you work with other souls, even though you're on your own path of clearing. You're with a beautiful circle of people, and it's especially sharing afterwards, especially if you're doing a 5-day ceremony. It's an experience, So that's kind of just like the power of sitting in ceremony with ayahuasca. Now, what did she bring to me? Well, she brought to me ever such a lot, but here's the thing. ayahuasca is so deep when you work with her that you'll find yourself coming out going, what was all that about? I'm more confused than when I went in. And if you don't have the people around you, meaning the space holders, to kind of help you decode and unlock it, then you can sometimes bring about more confusion because the work is deep. Now, look, when you go on the mat, you know, look, Aya, you approach this divine feminine with the most, like the top level of humility. You know, you think you know. And I've had a time in my medicine journeys or my medicine path where I'm like, I know more than this medicine. And let me tell you, go in with that attitude and you'll get an ass kicking of note and you'll be panel beaten to come back down to that level of humility, as I say. So you've got to come in like, you know, very humble, because if you're not, she will do so, because she's a very, very kind of like, right, let's get this done. She's a mother. So she's like, right, okay, you need to look at this and we need to do this and you need to get this right because that ain't flying. And that is the beauty of Aya. She cuts to the chase. No bullshit. You can get distracted all you like and she's here. You can go over there. She's here. You can leave the circle, go have a cigarette. She's here. And she is not leaving you until you look at your shit, basically. But it's a beautiful thing because when you go through this, it's like anything in life. When you go through intensity, what's the thing we must remember? Open the heart. Open your heart. Don't close. When you get like fearful or something's going down, we tend to do this. Open your heart and breathe. And that's in any kind of like issue that may be going on in your life, but especially when you're working with Aya, like that's when it gets really intense. Open the heart and then she can show you the way. And she is so soft and so loving, and so powerful and divine. She'll just wrap you up, but she's tough love. And Aya will come to you when you are ready for that level of mothering, I suppose, you know? So yeah, those that go there, you know, that it's basically, you're ready. Now, I'm calling this video Ayahuasca. I've written it down, the whys and the woes. So the why do you go to work with her? Because there's something beyond yourself that you find very hard to, like, for example, you'll have like deep blocks, addictions, you know, childhood traumas, past life trauma, whatever. Everybody's experience is different. And everybody will have, and every ayahuasca session you do, every ceremony you do will be different. But you're going there essentially to cut through all the humanness to get to the light, right? And it's like the Egyptians used to work with their own version of ayahuasca, and they work with the sacred mushrooms and blue lotus and just so much plant medicine. In fact, you'd be quite surprised as to how many, even the Essenes and Yeshua's crew, I mean, they all work with plants because it was natural. That's what they did to basically access the higher realms. That's what we had to do. Your physical body is only capable of basically being like 5D is where we can get to in a physical body. Anything beyond 5D, we need to journey and travel to that place. So how do we do that? We can do that through obviously transformational breath work and anything that can like transcend you to other levels. And that's going to be plant medicine. So when we wanted, especially the kings, the queens, the pharaohs, when they needed to go and get guidance from the gods, or it's an initiation of some sort, especially in Egypt, they even have temples as to where they would go and secretly take their mushrooms, because it was also, well, not secretly, but ceremonially take their mushrooms so they could go and glide up to the ethers and go and receive the downloads and then bring it back into the physical. That was what happened, you know? And we're no different. You know, we want to kind of like go out there to connect with the truth, with the highest vibrations, with the guidance, and then bring that back into the physical body, and then obviously share it with the world. That's what it's all about. However, let's talk about the ayahuasca and the woes. This is where the dark side comes in a little bit, okay? And what I mean by that is when I started to do ayahuasca, my biggest shade, if you will, was like, I'm not sure whether this is going to work well for me, because I had about 10 years of drug addiction. I mean, I'm talking hardcore drug addiction, and 3 nervous breakdowns in it, and getting high all the time and everything like that. That was a big shady path of my life to this level here. And I know that darkness, and I know that feeling of being on an altered state. I thought, well, this could go either way, because I loved a good party and I didn't used to want to come down for days. So I was a bit apprehensive of going into this ceremony because of that reason. So, you know, there's that shadow side. But anyway, it was an awakening for me. And I never stopped working with Aya. She, and I'm going to probably talk maybe in another video, I don't know, but I just feel that this is quite an extensive, deep topic. But for me, she opened the doors, man. I mean, like, you know, she opened the doors. She really did. And from years ago, I'm still unpacking her gifts to me down the line. Like that's how deep she works. And I know that my path to leadership, what I'm doing now, you know, all of my sacred work, you know, the tours to Egypt, do you know what I mean? The videos I do, helping humanity and myself to be better. She was part of that. She kickstarted me into this leadership. First trip to Egypt, straight into a ceremony with her. I mean, really, that was the synchronicity for me. So I definitely have so much to give honor and love and grace to the divine feminine ayahuasca. But here's the shadow side. Let me go back to that drugs thing I was talking about. So, you know, like there is a slip. You can go down there or you can go down there. There is absolutely no need for you to be in an ayahuasca ceremony every day or every month. There is absolutely no need for you to drink ayahuasca on a regular basis. Why? Because the integration is so massive. So if you find yourself doing that, okay, and this is just how I see it to be true, this is my truth, whether it resonates or not, but this is me sharing with you guys, this is how I see it. The bottom line is if you are going there and there and there and there, it's addiction. It is. It's addiction. You are basically, because what happens is you end up being in those realms rather than these realms. Well, rather those realms, because when you work with Aya, you go into the underworld, okay? Quite a lot, actually, because she takes you to shadow. So now all of a sudden you're spending all this time in the underworld from being on plant medicine and you're just in there. All of a sudden the veils between your real life and then the underworld become very thin and they get distorted. So you actually don't know where you are, and you're incredibly ungrounded. So, you know, I speak to a lot of space holders that observe this, and they will speak about this, that they say they see the people that come, they'll come, and they'll do their work, and then they won't see them for a long time. And then they might come back again for a revisit. And I'm going to talk about that just now, about why that happens. But those that come every month, they're just coming to just basically deflect and not do the work, because if you're doing the work, you won't need to come back, you know? And this is what happens, that you get stuck in that cycle, and it becomes now in your mind, you're going, well, I'm doing plant medicine and I'm doing my spiritual work, when meanwhile there's a spiritual bullshitting going on, because actually what you're doing is you're just coming back to get high every weekend or every month, do you know what I mean? And you're actually got no time for integration. So the plant medicine is all about going out there, boof, big energy, out there, big things happen. You have to have time to integrate. You've got to bring these codes and everything that you have brought in, give it time to settle in and bring it all the way into the physical and out, because you're a portal, not a bucket. I figured that out very quickly. Got to bring the energy all the way in, all the way into the earth, and then expand and share that with the world. Because let me tell you, this physical life is the life you should be living. Not up there, not down there. It's here. Party is here. So we go there to collect. We go to the underworld to collect, but essentially we're living here. We celebrate this middle world. This is why we chose to come to. So if you've done this whole lifetime, I'm going to come to Gaia. I want to go there, and my soul wants to learn things. Well, why are you in the stars all the time? Why did you bother coming? You know what I mean? If you're going to basically spend your days on plant medicine 24/7, just not here. And you'll find that when that happens, it can actually have an adverse effect on you, where basically what was now light starts to come and play back on you, and it starts to cook your pip, meaning like mess your head up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And then it can go a little bit wonky. So for me, all plant medicines, they are tools. We have been given so many gifts around us, which are like tools, which are things that we can use and work with. Even the temples in Egypt, the gods and goddesses, they built, well, the gods, actually the pharaohs, the star beings built the temples, and, you know, they left them there to help us remember in this lifetime, so we can remember who we are. And the plants are exactly there to do that as well. The trees, the big old oak trees, we put our hands on, close your eyes. Oh, I remember, because you get like a channel of some sort, something. It is all tools for remembering, but essentially we're to live here, enjoy, and enjoy. But like, that's the plant medicine. So what I mean by those, so I'm going to talk about those that, like, you know, they go, they collect everything and then away they go, and they don't see them for ages because they've gone away to integrate. They've gone away to integrate their ayahuasca experiences and unpack it. And I feel, and this is just my personal opinion, that there is a big gap with plant medicine, that there is the most powerful time for ascension, growth, transformation, learning, and healing is after the ceremony, is after the Egypt tour, is after the one-on-one session you've had, period. I've been in this game for long enough to try every which way but loose. And I'm telling you now, that is the truth. So yes, the ayahuasca ceremony might be like a big thing, but after it is when you start to unpack it. And that is when you want to go and see your healers. You want to go and sit with it. You want to unpack it. You want to work with it because you've been given so much in this life to work with. Not to go and jump back on the mat and then distort that integration, because then it just lines on top of each other and it's just like fuzzy. And she doesn't like that because that's a disrespect to the medicine, okay? And when I was in Peru, share a short story with you here. When I was in Peru, I went up to the sacred mountain, and every time I do San Pedro, I work with San Pedro, the grandfather, or sacred mushrooms, ayahuasca comes straight in over the top. She hijacks every experience I have because it's all frequency and vibration. My most powerful frequency is with Aya because I am her. You become the plant. Once you've ingested it, you become that frequency. She comes in. So I've actually worked with San Pedro. There we are on the top of a mountain. Everybody is like, oh, it's amazing. I'm seeing unicorns and having a wonderful time. And I saw myself, I'm God spirit, whatever. Meanwhile, Marie's over there vomiting and vomiting and vomiting. I can move. I felt so sick. And the shaman was saying, Marie, you need to vomit in the fire. And I was like, because he was Peruvian. I was like, I ain't doing that, bro. And I was so angry. I was like, if you speak to me one more time or offer me any more plant medicine, I was vomiting and I was raging. And it was a really horrible death. I literally went through a death. In fact, 10 on this mountain while everybody else was magical unicorns, rainbows, Marie, what? It was awful. You're not really supposed to purge on San Pedro, but I wasn't, let's face it, it wasn't San Pedro, it was Aya. She came in and was like, right, chick, we're doing work. And I just didn't know what to do with myself. So anyway, got through that, didn't die, died 1,000 spiritual deaths though. And it was brutal and it was really intense. Now, there's two things there. I have obviously chosen to work in those realms where I'm doing all the sludgy work, okay? You know, so other people can see sunshine and rainbows. But that's what happened. And then we realized later down the line, because the lady that was holding the retreat was like, she actually tapped into the mountain energy, and it said, you know, I was clearing, I was clearing the misuse of medicine. That's why it was so hectic. She even fell off a rock. It was hysterical. There was like us over here doing this work and then over there. And that's what happens. You get pulled into service in a big way. The more you do it, they're like, right, okay, this is what we're really doing. Do you know what I mean? And that's what happened. So working with that plant medicine, you know what I mean? It's serious, man. And you get called in. And I was actually working with the misuse of the plant medicine, which is why there was so much anger and rage, because it was actually the plants and the earth that was coming through me. And I did the work. But after that, I said, I do not want to do my clearing like that. And I was very reluctant to do any other ceremonies like that. And then I did ceremonies beyond that with Aya, and it was wonderful, magical, amazing. Ayahuasca taught me how to drum. She taught me how to drum on medicine in my house in Zimbabwe. Beautiful house that I've got, big acreage. So lovely and sunny there. Daytime ayahuasca. I work with her, no purging involved, no shadows, just pure love and light. I took my drum, and there's my drum there, and the drum's down there. I've never drummed the same since. Oh my God, I've never drummed the same since. It was absolutely magical and amazing. And now I drum in Egypt, I drum here, whatever. You probably saw on the videos on here. I found this heartbeat inside of myself. Aya taught me that. So when I pick up a drum, she comes in. When I want to sit in the garden, I look at the leaves, I can feel her come in. Why? Because I don't need to ingest her anymore, because I can actually call up her frequency and she's in me. And guess what, peeps? You can actually have that from one connection with Aya. You can. I mean, look, essentially, you could probably tap into Aya without having to drink her at all, because she's oneness. And I'm going to leave you with one more story, because there's so many and so much I can share with you on ayahuasca. I was in Egypt on the third trip, and I think I shared this story before, but I was between the paws of the Sphinx, and I just started to just get sick. And it was ayahuasca. She came through. I had not drunk her. I had not done anything with her whatsoever. And I started to purge, and I vomited and I vomited and I vomited. Went to the Great Pyramid, went inside the Great Pyramid, which is just behind, got halfway up there, or came down, vomited everywhere in the pyramid. Yes, I did. And she came in like a freight train. And she just said to me, like, I am not part of the Peruvian jungle. Get that straight away. I will come to you in Egypt. I will come to you in your front room. I will come to you wherever I feel like. And that is it, and that is all. And others need to know that I am everywhere and I am everything. And there needs to be a remarketing, if you will, of her frequency and the understanding of ayahuasca. Oh, ayahuasca, lie on the mat. She's dark, she's intense. She's way more than that. She's way more than that. And she is wanting to break free beyond these, typical ceremonies. And she wants to be known in a different way, in a different light. We're the children of the new way. And essentially, so is she. She's the divine feminine showing her children of the new way. That she's to be enjoyed everywhere and accessed everywhere. So you work with her once, you can just pull her frequency up whenever you need to, but be ready for her. Because like I say, you come with humility. Ayahuasca to me, when I feel her in the divine feminine spirit, is like Sekhmet. She is Wadjet in Egypt. She is Wadjet. She is so many things, but she's those goddesses that you approach the bench, head lowered, humility, deepest honor for who, what, how she is. So like I say, the whys and the woes of Aya, this is just one video, which is unusually long, but I mean, I can talk so much about her. But as I say, let's wrap it up there. And then, as I say, if there's anything that you want me to channel, talk about, unpack, let's do it. Put your comments in the box. I'll start to do some videos. This could be a lot of fun. And let's go from there. And then also click subscribe if you like, if you dig what I do, and do what you dig, I suppose, So yeah, and just as I'm closing on this video, the reason I'm pausing is I'm really hot now. So I feel that she just come in and just said, I approve. So let's leave it there, guys. Leaving you with ayahuasca, the spirit of Aya, sharing her frequency. Love and light, y'all. See you later.